Welcome into another video. It's finally week 1 and we need to start breaking down some of these matchups. This is going to be the Thursday night football matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. First week 1. We're ready for some regular season action. We're ready for some fantasy football. Let's get into these matchups. Let's take a look at the fantasy players to watch in this game. First, on the Lions side, the top fantasy players, in my opinion, is running back Jahmyr Gibbs, running back David Montgomery, and wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. The rookie Jahmyr Gibbs should be able to show his worth to this football team against an opportunistic defense without Chris Jones holding the defense down in week 1. With how fast I believe the Chiefs will be scoring, there should be plenty of opportunities for Jahmyr Gibbs to prove why he was a high first-round pick in this year's draft. Now we move on to David Montgomery, coming over from the Bears team where he had a solid season. He now sees himself in a timeshare with an electric rookie Gibbs, but I still see the value here. Gibbs and Montgomery should be a pleasant 1-2 punch for the Lions offense, who should be much improved in 2023. The last fantasy asset I want from the Lions in this game is wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown's shown that he can be a dominant fantasy wide receiver in the NFL last season, and this year he should be able to take over where he left off. With Jameson Williams suspended, he should get the Lions' share of the target in this game, where they will be airing it out the ball all game long, just trying to keep pace with this Chiefs offense. Get Amon-Ra St. Brown in your lineup and start him with confidence in week 1. Now, let's go ahead and switch gears and move over to the Chiefs, who are usually fantasy gold if you have the right people in your lineup. We're always going to start with Patrick Mahomes. Do I really need to sit here and say start Patrick Mahomes? No. Patrick Mahomes will be taking on a Lions defense that is much improved from last season, and that's to include its secondary, and most notably CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, even with these upgrades, this defense has seen, there shouldn't be much of an issue for Mahomes to just carve up this defense. Next, we have running back Isaiah Pacheco, who really started showing up towards the tail end of last season. He has fully supplanted Clyde Edwards-Helaire and is now the go-to number 1 running back for this offense. And while the running back position usually isn't a stud running back for fantasy, he is usually a good RB2 for your team on most weeks. Now, with the wide receiver that I'm going to go and that I really want on this offense is Marcus Valdes-Scantling. I believe that he has the most rapport with Patrick Mahomes and should have the first opportunity to make fantasy owners fall in love with him. This is someone you could have gotten later in your drafts and should be able to show that what he's capable of and just being a weekly starter in your lineup. Last but not least, for the fantasy players I'm watching is none other than tight end Travis Kelce. Kelce is always the go-to option for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. If they need a first down, throw it to Kelce. If they need a touchdown, throw it to Kelce. Kelce is the only set it and forget it tight end in fantasy football, in my opinion, and there is good reason for it. If you need someone to tell you to start Travis Kelce or looking for analytics to justify starting him, then I believe you do have more issues, and you gotta need to get checked out before you continue your quest onto fantasy football. Just like there are players that I would target in this game fantasy-wise, there's also some sleepers that you also could possibly target if you're in a pinch or need someone for a flex spot. For the Lions, I can see quarterback Jared Goff, wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr., and tight end Sam Laporta. They could be possibly fantasy viable just for the fact that they're playing the Chiefs and they're going to see an increase in passing volume this week. Now for the Chiefs, I can see wide receiver Sky Moore and wide receiver Richie James with a place in your flex as kind of a Hail Mary type of play to catch a long touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. Either one could be possible. At the end of the day, anybody can go off and become a fantasy asset, but it's up to you to ultimately decide who gets in your lineup. As always, thank you for watching the video. Be tuned in for tomorrow as we release a video on our must starts of the week, and then be tuned in for Saturday as we drop another video going over all the fantasy targets for week 1 for Sunday and Monday Night Football. Can't wait to see you guys on another video. We'll see you guys next time.